What's good, Toxic Regime? ToxicSight here, back again once again with another Paladins video. In this video we are going to be starting our support class or support roles. Let me grab this. Starting with Furia. She is technically comp viable if you know how to play her right, if you know how to aim her pillar. Um, Cherish did get nerfed half. As you can see, I am recording the supports after Koga gets released in 1.3. Um, but anyway, Koga doesn't have anything to do with the supports. But Cherish did get nerfed from 50% down to 25% extra healing, which makes a big difference in her viability as roles. But we're gonna go ahead and jump into her. Her abilities are Celerity, Wings of Wrath, gains an additional charge, Cherish, Kindled Soul, heals up to 25% additional based on your ally's missing health, Exterminate when Pyre Strike hits an enemy, it stops moving until its duration ends, and Soul Blessing, Pyre Strike now stops and heals allies it passes through for 300 health a second. Like I was just saying, Cherish did receive a big nerf from 50 down to 25% additional health. Exterminate and Solar Blessing use the exact same skill. One stops on enemies and damages them over time, and the other heals allies. Exterminate, while it's not all that great because it stops on an enemy, you're gonna prevent your other enemies from being hit that way, and no one goes towards the pillar, so that one's pointless. In my opinion. I mean, it could be run technically, but in my opinion, Celerity, Rings of Wrath gets an additional charge, and Solar Blessings are her best two now that 1.3 came out. Before it was Solar Blessing and Cherish, with Cherish being broken as hell with 50% additional health based on missing health. Because most of the time, one Kindle Soul got him back up to full health. But with it being dropped down to 25%, it's, in my opinion, it's now Solar Blessing and Celerity. We're gonna look at Celerity first. I don't understand why they did this, why they've separated everything on loadouts. But Celerity, I'm running Ignition 4, successful Pyre Strike hit, reduced the cooldown of Rings of Wrath by 4 seconds, increased the radius of Pyre Strike by 30%, reduced the cooldown of Rings of Wrath by 1.5 seconds. Successful Rings of Wrath attack reduced the cooldown of Pyre Strike by 2 seconds, and Wrath decays 10% slower. I've already been over her abilities and her release in 1.2. I think it was 1.2 of her release, but I'll go over them again. Celerity. Her primary fire is just her shot, dealing 330 damage every half second, and a medium spread. Healing allies builds your wrath, which increase your attack speed. And then you have Kindled Soul, which is your right click, which is your heal. Target an ally near your rhetoric and cast a heal that heals for 1,000 and heals for 1,000 and then 500 over 2 seconds. Then you have your Q, which is Pyre Strike, summons a beam, searing the light that travels forward. Enemies caught in the path are stunned for a second and take an instant 400 damage with a long 20 seconds every 0.05 seconds they remain inside the beam. And then Rings of Wrath, your F, propel yourself backward and fire 3 attacks to seek out enemies, dealing 200 damage each. Her reload speed's pretty decent, her movement speed's pretty decent. Her shot doesn't really spread all that much while she moves like normal shots do, how the bloom blossoms bigger. There's her pillar. Her F does track a lot better now in 1.3 since they fixed that issue with it. Because before it would hit walls and still go through, and sometimes it wouldn't, which it shouldn't go through walls anyway. The pillar does go through walls. Basically all this loadout does is, since you have 2 charges with your Rings of Wrath, um, I mainly use this as a damage build. Because if you were to get it hits all you do is basically run around, mark your allies whenever you can, Rings of Wrath away, then pillar. Um, her ult, she becomes untargetable, for 2 seconds afterwards. You and your allies within 150 feet gain 30% bonus damage and 30% movement speed for 8 seconds. Um, this build, I mean, I don't really see her using this ability in comp that often, because it is really heavily relied on Chronos. I mean, she's really relying on Chronos with either one of these talents. Cherish doesn't really need Chronos because you can build a talent that a loadout that gives you the second fastest you can get it, because she can only get Chronos 2 with that loadout. I mean, that's the highest you really go with Chronos anyways, but or no, you can only go Chronos 1 with that loadout because you already have a 1.65 second time on it, and you can't get faster than 1 second. Um, but what was I about to say? But this loadout is really just for fun. Like I said, it doesn't really benefit much in comp unless you do Chronos and you rely heavily on your team to follow through with the stun, or follow through after the stun. Um, there is another way you could load this one out, and I'll show you that loadout at the end of the video. Um, but her main talent we'll go to now is Solar Blessing / Exterminate. With this, you run increase the radius of Pyre Strike by 50%, increase stun duration by 0.3 seconds. Successful Ring of Wrath attack reduce cooldown. Healing an ally with Kindled Soul heals you for 210 over 3 seconds, and successful Ring of Wrath attacks heals you for 50. With this loadout, you just have that one charge. You can run this with either Pyre Strike card, um, either Solar Blessing because it hits. Let me get it back. It heals rapidly, and you don't even have to heal, like actually legitimately like mark somebody with your Kindled Spirit to get all the wrath, because all the wrath does is build up as you heal people. And then if you build Kronos, which is really important to her. Here, Caught is her best friend. Um, Wrecker, I wouldn't even bother with Wrecker. Kill to Heal, she is a support because it says kill or eliminations now. Back in OB66, I think it just said getting a kill, where you actually had to get the kill to get the healing. Now it's eliminations. And then, like in all the rest of them, these are just strictly based off of what you actually need in the match. Since you are a support, Illuminate, if there's a sky, will be really good for you, so you can see whenever she's coming at you. Haven, Blast Shield, always depending on what you're taking, whatever's doing more damage to you, not based on what the team comp is. And Resilience, like I said, if there's CC people in the team. But she is really good as a support. All you want to do with her is make sure you either have your pillar. Every chance that you get, you want to use your pillar. You want to kindle soul up, because her damage output is heavily relied on her wrath, and her wrath generates based on healing you're doing. So the more often you heal, the more often you Pyre Strike. If you're running Solar Blessing, the more often you will be able to keep your wrath up. One drawback to her is while using Solar Blessing, you actually have to aim to your part or your team, or aim where they're gonna be or where you think they'll be at. You can't just, oh, I'm just gonna throw it out. Hold on, you can't just throw it out and think that it'll hit your ally, because unless you aim it, it does absolutely nothing. Either aim it where they're standing, if they're staying pretty much still, or aim it where you think they're gonna go, and hopefully it'll get there by the time they get there. Another thing is, because if you miss your allies, you will be blamed for the loss due to the fact that you're not healing. Her kindled spirit, her kindled soul can. Well, that was a poor example. You have to have line of sight to kindle. I mean, you don't have to have line of sight facing them like you do with Genos and or not Genos. Genos doesn't need line of sight. But like Sarah's, you don't have to have that exact line of sight, like facing them. As long as they're in your screen, it'll target them. It targets the closest person to your cursor, to your what's it called? Your rhetoric or your rectile. Wherever you're the closest person to your target that's inside your screen gets hit with it.
Show them no mercy.
So she's really good if you really know how to play her. We're gonna go over what Exterminate does. It's gonna use the same loadout. But well, that was horrible. We'll launch it over there. You see how it stuns and it just sits there at him? And if you launch it at your partner, it does absolutely nothing. It just keeps going. Now that you're not using Solar Blessing. So you're just gonna have to rely on your right click to heal. I mean, it's good because it stuns and it keeps doing damage.
Stay blessed.
But you don't have that extra healing reliant, and you don't have
Monsters to live.
the extra. Let me let my wrath run out. I'm gonna let my wrath run out, or at least run down by 2 bars. Because I know it regenerates if I heal. I was just reading Pyre Strike to make sure it didn't say it generates.
Expected mercy. My pyre be cleansed.
Yeah, you're not gaining any Wraith with Pyre Strike. You gain it while they're getting healed. So, I like Solar Blessing because you get Wrath while you're healing them with your right click. And as long as somebody's staying within your 50% increased range of your Solar Blessing, you don't have to worry about your Wraith running out anytime soon.
You monsters to live.
So like as long as somebody's getting healed by you some way, shape, or form, your Wrath will never run out. And like I said, her Wraith is what keeps her damage output alive.
Expected mercy.
But yeah, so she's a really decent healer as long as you can aim her Pyre Strike. If you're running Solar Blessing, Cherish, like I said, got nerfed, so it's not really her go-to heal anymore. We're gonna exit out of here, and I'm gonna go to the lobby and show you the Cherish build, just in case you want to run Cherish. But like I said, it's not her top healing anymore. Cherish, you want to run a 300 shield, reduce the cooldown by 1 full second. Healing an ally heals you. And then the last card's really up to you. You can either go for more HP, or I love the. Oh wait, that's not the last card. Never mind. Well, the last 2 cards are really up to you. These 3 are mandatory, really, for the Kindled Salt for the Cherish build. A lot of people are this card. I love the Wraith Decays slower card in any build, really. Mainly this build and this Solar Blessing. The other card's really up to you. Either Successful Rings or Wrath heals you. Increase the stun duration, or increase the range. Increase max health. If it was up to me and I had to choose a 5th card, I'd go this. I'd probably build this. So I'm gonna have this load out here, But like I said, Cherish is no longer in her top tier. Let me look at this loadout again. These two are required, so I'm gonna move this over here. These two are required for this. Um, y'all know what? You might actually be able to get by like that on Celerity. So there's the loadouts for Furia. If you want them, you can take them like you can in any of the other videos. That's gonna do it for this video. Until next time, Toxic Regime, keep it real, be good to yourself, be good to your loved ones. I will see you in the next one, but before we go, leave a comment down in the comment section below on any of these videos if you think they help, if you think, um, if you have any suggestions on what might be better, um, if you want me to get a loadout for any particular talent on any of the champions. But on that note, on that one, please put the talent that you want in the video of the champion that talent belongs to. Don't be watching this Furia video and be like, hey, can you make a loadout for um who have I already done that I know a talent that I didn't use? Can I get a build for Slugshot Ash in the Furia video, because it doesn't really make sense to be asking for an Ash loadout inside Furia's video. But anyways, that's gonna do it for Furia. Remember, leave a comment in the section below if these videos help you, if you want more information in videos, and I will get that out to you as soon as I can. Until next time, bye.